What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Joat, and I'm here again today talking to you. Today is going to be an interesting day because I want to be one of those ones that actually talk about the sports of the day. The sports of the day, different games and different topics. I'm going to be looking on some ESPN to talk about the topics. And talk about give my opinion, give my stats and all that. Um, Today's been a is going to be a big day for different things. First of all, we got to talk about the NFL, everybody's favorite sport in America. Also, we're also going to be talking about the baseball playoffs, hockey season starting. I love hockey season, but baseball, man, there is a lot of teams that are just not. There's a lot of teams that are just not there today. Um, Looking at some of the top headlines of the day, uh, Falcons acquire wide receiver Jefferson in a trade with the Rams. Now, this one is going to be interesting. Van Jefferson. Let's see. Part of the deal. They're sending the Falcons. The Falcons are sending a 2025 6th-round pick to the Rams for a 7th-round pick. You know what? It's interesting because I just saw the trade for Randy Gregory from the Broncos to the 49ers. And it almost was the same way. They get the player, except this is more of a reverse. The Randy Gregory trade, they gave a 7th-round pick to pick up a 6th-round pick. This one's sending a 6th-round pick to send a 7th. These are used to be high-quality players, if I'm not mistaken. But he's had a career. He's only had 8 catches for 108 yards. So, yeah, Rams need a complimentary receiver. I mean, ever since Cooper Kupp just came back from injury and they got that breakout kid in Puka Nacua, they actually are not doing very bad when it comes to the receiving core. So I would say that one of the biggest things that I love about the game is that you always want some complimentary pieces. And you know what? Atlanta, no offense to Atlanta Falcon fans, they are just one of those teams that are just running into some bad luck. I mean, they're hitting. Let me see. Okay. They need some help. The Falcons do need some help, actually, because I'm reading this. My apologies if because I read this wrong. The Falcons are getting Van Jefferson from the Rams. So it is kind of true. They're picking up a 6th to 7th round pick or 6th round pick as well to the Rams for a 7th round pick as well as Van Jefferson. All right. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting matchup because the fact is Falcons do need some help at wide receiver. They've got that kid Ritter. He's if I'm not mistaken, he is a rookie. Oh no, 2nd year. But kid's having a good day. But he's not going to, like I said, with the Rams having already being so stacked in wide receiver core, they are actually, I could see them kind of using this draft pick on maybe defense or some kind of backup, because it's good that actually the Falcons get some kind of receiver help. And I bet you right now, this Van Jefferson kid, he's going to end up going to probably make a few more catches. I could guarantee you, he could probably make better catches. 8 catches for 108 yards and no touchdowns in 4 seasons. He's going to do better than that, possibly by the end of the year. So, another one of the comments of the day were about the currently we're talking about this game. I'm currently watching the some of these matchups. MLB's got the 2 AL games going on. Debo, the trash talking between the Niners and the Cowboys. If anybody watched the NFL game, the 49ers were actually the better team in that one. I mean, what can you say? I mean, Brock Purdy is probably one of the better players of the entire game. One of the better quarterbacks, one of the better receive playmakers. I think it was either last week or the week before last, he was actually 20 for 21 in passing. Almost perfect game in passing. He had 1 incompletion. And still, I think he threw for like 2 touchdowns or something like that. If you did not see this game on Sunday, then you missed out, because the fact is, it was almost predictable about how Tom Brady, or not Tom Brady, Brock Purdy was more Tom Brady-esque like, in the fact that dink and dunk, get the ball out of your hand faster, and we always talk about coaching trees. We really do. And the coaching tree that, when we talk about like Andy Reid coached these guys who became NFL head coaches, and they brought the system with them and all that, or Bill Walsh from the 80s, how he passed it down. The biggest thing that I saw with Brock Purdy is that he spent all that time, not only 4 years as a starter, which most quarterbacks do not do anymore, and it goes through adversity and knowing that you're always going to lose and all that. And then you go and play for the 49ers where you're a third string. You're learning behind a second string guy in Jimmy Garoppolo at the time, until he starter, then went to backup, then went to starter again, and then got hurt. Let me tell you something. For all you 49er fans, Jimmy Garoppolo still was able to probably instill in this kid timing, skills that even Tom Brady passed down to him. So people were asking, well, we want Tom Brady to go back to San Francisco. Well, guess what? Tom Brady kind of actually instilled, unknowingly passed his knowledge down to a San Francisco quarterback. So, but this rivalry between the Cowboys and the Niners, Michael Parsons is like, we know we matched them. We just didn't do any good plays. Debo just said something about Cowboys, just warned the Cowboys that the 49ers rematch will be worse. And I believe it will be, because 49ers are going to hone their skills. They're going to create their timing and everything like that. and they're going to pass it down. But Dak Prescott was so predictable with this team, too. Anytime Dak Prescott goes down, I was watching 7-0, 14-0. Now Dak Prescott has to push. People are just like, well, we got this guy. We got Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, once you focus on him, who else do you have? The only reason why good players become, or great players become great, is because of the fact is they can beat one-on-one matchups. The only problem I see with the Cowboys defense is they're a little bit lopsided in one or two special guys that can make plays. Now that Trayvon Diggs is out. And Trayvon, I hope if you're watching this, I hope you actually get healthier, because I want to be able to watch you again, because I loved watching him play. But you think everybody was talking about the Dallas defense. 49ers defense. Fred Warner, great player. Greenlaw, great player. Secondary, they got good players. But you've got Javon Hargrave, who was a sack machine at the Eagles. You've got Nick Bosa, one of the best sack masters in the game. Now, a lot of people were telling me when I was watching these 49er games, people are like, well, who the 49ers? The 49ers haven't played anybody. Dallas. A lot of diehard Dallas fans. They said, well, the 49ers haven't met up with anybody like Micah Parsons. So basically, Pittsburgh's TJ Watt was not Micah Parsons. The Rams' Aaron Donald is not Micah Parsons. Let's see, who else were they playing? They played the Giants. They played Arizona. It's gonna be really bad. A lot of these games are gonna be, and this one, I don't know. 49 watching Dak Prescott throw that touchdown, and then throws 3 interceptions. One of them was almost predictable. I watched the play right before that, and he almost threw his very first interception of the game. He almost threw a pick that game, or that play. But he actually turned around and threw the pick right afterwards, almost because he was starting to press. He knew he had to throw the big play, which was kind of hard. So personally, I think that's going to be something he's going to have to work on. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to go through everything right now in my head, trying to figure out what's going on. This one, ladies and gentlemen, baseball pro season is upon us. We've already probably known that. There's a lot of big storylines I like to see here. Like how 2 superior teams, as in Baltimore, Atlanta, and the Dodgers, are 0-2 in the playoffs right now against teams that had to play wild card games. They really had to play wild card games. The only team that's pretty much putting up a fight right now is Houston. Out of the 4 matchups, Houston over Minnesota. Right now, it's currently, like I'm looking at the score right now, we're actually playing. It is 4-0 at the end of the second inning. And you're watching these games like 1 and 2 seeds being beat by 3, 4, 5, 6 teams but what's even worse is in baseball, Texas, well, not Texas, but Baltimore, Atlanta, and the Dodgers were all 100-win games. Now, for people that don't watch baseball, baseball has a 162 game season. That means if you're winning 100 games, losing 62, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, it's about a 60+% or 60 percentage in win. But Baltimore is getting beat by Texas. Was a strong team. They fell a little bit at the end of the year. They've been holding that division. I was watching the season, and they were holding the division lead up until possibly August, September. And then they just started falling apart and ended up still making the playoffs, but losing that division lead to Houston. You've got Atlanta going against division rivalry Philly, the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, I love the Philadelphia Phillies. It's been a while since I've seen them in the playoffs. They've got some star power on that team. They've got Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. And it's just a tough matchup for that one. But then you've got the underdogs, and I'm a big Angels fan, so unfortunately my Angels were doing pretty good, but first half of the season. We're sorry the second half of the season. No offense to the Angels, but man, they're just sorry. My other favorite team, and I've gone to a lot of their games, and I live right here in Reno, so I got their AAA team right here, is the fact that the Arizona Diamondbacks are beating the Dodgers. The star-powered Dodgers. They beat them 11-0 the very first game. Blowout. And then they beat them 4-2. Where the very first inning, they scored 3 runs on the Dodgers. If you look at the score, the Dodgers were basically lost by the first inning. It is tough to see because these games, like 2 o'clock tonight or 5 o'clock tonight, our time, the game is actually going to be the Texas hosting Baltimore. So you got all these teams, of course, they're going 0-2, and now they got to play the next 2 games in at least the next 2 games in opposing teams. So home field advantage was not nice to the Orioles, to the Braves, to the Dodgers. Now you're going on the road and trying to win in hostile environments because wild card series in baseball, wild card series is only a 3-game series. You got to win 2 out of 3. This is the divisional round. We're playing, you guys are having to win 5 or 3 out of 5. They extended it. So these 3 teams that are 100 wins or more have to win out the next 3 games, which they could do it. But it's going to be hard when 2 of those next 3 games are on the road. So good luck to them. I don't like to see too many blowouts, but the fact is sweeps. Everybody got swept in the wild card games. There's only one game. The Minnesota-Houston series is a 1-1 tie with Houston about ready to take over. I want to see at least a few more wins or a few more competitive series. But here's the thing, guys. A series that I want to talk about Hockey. Hockey season's back. Ever since Vegas was, and I lived in Vegas at the time when they were announced that they were getting a team. I've always been a Vegas Golden Knights fan. I've been watching hockey since back in the 90s when Detroit was a good team. And I was a San Jose Sharks fan. They've always played pretty well. But I've always been a Vegas team. I love being a fan of up-and-comers and the way they did 6 seasons in, win a Stanley Cup, been to 2 Stanley Cups and win one. Playoffs in 5 out of the 6 seasons. This is season 7. As defending Stanley Cup champions, they're going to be way good tonight. They're playing Seattle Kraken, the other expansion team that I love within the last few years. I really want to see how hockey season is like. And for you guys that don't know, a lot of times when I'm talking, I will probably refer to the stats that I've got. And I do a different point systems. NFL, ladies and gentlemen, I did this. I do a record standings, like a bet standings. I'm going to tell you right now, I have basically for next week's football season, I have 11 picks out of 15. I got 11 out of 15 picks that I think are going to be, they're going to win. But last week's picks, I'll tell you this, I was 5-6 in picking winners based on my system. The Thursday night game, I actually think it's going to be Kansas City, Denver. Sunday, I think it's going to Baltimore will beat Tennessee. I think Seattle will beat Cincinnati, of course. San Francisco over Cleveland. I think that's almost guaranteed. That's probably, I don't know, I haven't seen the sports book yet. But I want to say that game feels to me like double digit. Yeah, it feels to me like a double digit on the point spread. I'm checking it right now. It's not. It's actually a 6. I think, to be honest with you, that's almost guaranteed bet. If it's a 6, then it's a guaranteed bet. Then I'm going to take the 9. I'm going to take the over in that one. Over is very low right now, 37.5. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand with that San Francisco-Cleveland game, San Francisco has not scored less than 30 in 5 games. They scored 30, 30, 30, 35, and 42. They have not scored under 30 in 5 games. So, keeping with the trend, you could pretty much say San Francisco is good for 30. So, there's 30 of the 37 right there. Now, you just got to remember, is Cleveland going to score 8 points? And if you believe that you might want to take that over under. I think 37.5. I think that's going to be a great bet, personally, because of why I said it. 49ers offense, even against top defenses, even against the number 1 defense in the league, coming into the last week's game, the Dallas Cowboys, they still put up 42. They know how to dink and dunk. They know how to shred. I think this game right here, if you want a surefire bet, I would think that the over 37.5 on the 49ers-Browns game is the bet to take. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for my little 30-minute speech of sports talk. I appreciate it. I'm going to talk to you all later. Hopefully I can get some likes on this. And I'll come back with a little bit more preparation. I just thought I'd throw this out here just for my personal picks. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And until next time, roar, I'm out of here.